don't forget to hit record. All right. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is Amanda Moxley, and I'm excited to share with you today's training. Let me know. A lot of you guys are in the chat, so definitely chat along. Let me know. I want to hear how this is resonating. I want to know where you're from, where you're watching from, and are you ready to get started? I know I am. All right, so we're going to talk about how to blow past 6 figures fast without building a complicated sales funnel and stressing over being technically challenged. I am Amanda Moxley, and I am the founder of the Moxley Method. And today's call is okay. Let's see. There we go. Should move. Okay, so I understand you guys, this isn't your first rodeo. You know, I have my rodeo hair. I imagine you have all been on a lot of webinars and you have consumed a lot of information and done a lot, and I appreciate your time and I value the sacred resource of your time to show up to be here with me today. And I want you to know that if you have failed or if you have tried and with speaking and enrolling clients and it hasn't worked in the past, it is not your fault. There's so much information out there, and it can be so confusing and overwhelming, and there's bright shiny objects, and there's so much that we can do and so many ideas and directions, and that information overload can keep us from success, and it's okay. So just understand that you are on the path, and that is, the path is everything. The fact that you're actually here and you're curious and you're a seeker, and you will pop. So I want to put those fears to rest and tell you you can do this. You just need the right person. And my intention is that my voice can speak directly to your heart, and that I can be that right person for you to help so this will land. I want to give you these 3 steps today. I really want it to land. You know, it's like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So just be open. And I want to share with you all you need is a seductively simple, low tech, high touch system to get you to the promised land. And I want to share that with you today. So I want to let you know that there are a lot of naysayers in our lives, right? And I'll be sharing more about my story, so you know you're not alone. But a lot of people, you know, they'll say, who do you think you are? And you're not going to make it. And why are you even trying? And don't quit your day job. And I want you to know that they are wrong and that they have their own reasons for wanting you to feel like that, but that's really not the truth. And the truth is that your success triggers them. Even your desire, it's like the crabs in the bucket, you trying to get out of, can you guys see me and the screen? I just want to make sure. Let's just see. I'm just imagining you can. You can see me, right? Yeah, you can see me. I'll just keep going. So basically our success triggers them because you're like the crab in the bucket, or you're all crabs in the bucket, and they're trying to pull you back down because we are the average of the 5 people we hang around. And that I've seen that time and time again. I've been an entrepreneur now since 2005. And I mean, I was always an entrepreneur, like all of us, starting at a young age, but really going out on my own since then. And I just want you to know that it's okay. That's why you need a new tribe, a new group of people to really support you. You can do it, and you just need to hashtag JFDI, which is just effing do it. The difference between me and my team is that we really care about you and your success, and I really, really am devoted and want you to actually rock this out. I have been there. I have slayed so many dragons. I'm going to share with you a bunch about those dragons today. And, you know, this is why we're here. And I figured out this system, and and I really want to share it with you because I know that you have a gift to share with the world, and now is your time, and let's rise up and let's do this. So here's my intention. This is for you if you're at the start of your coaching business. So those of you guys who might, you know, just be starting out, you haven't even made your first couple $100 yet in your business. It's also for those who are already at maybe the 50K or even the 100K level, and you want to go to 250 to 300K and then scale that beyond and then beyond and beyond. And I want to show you the way to reach 6 figures fast, even if you suck at tech. The big thing I want you to get is that the only way for you to blow past 6 figures fast, and I want to know from you guys, how many of you are at 6 figures, or how many of you, I mean, I guess it's kind of a private thing, but you know, I like to talk about money. Like, where are you now? Just do an analysis of where you are now. But my whole, like, what I want to really convey to you is that the only way for you to blow past 6 figures fast is through speaking and slaying dragons along the way. And the only way is by experiencing it at live with me at Rise Up. Especially if I'm resonating with you, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to tell you all about my event, Rise Up, in a minute here. But my promise is to show you how to blow past 6 figures fast with my secret seductive 3 steps. So here's what we're going to do today. We are going to do, number one, we're going to figure out the number one thing that's been blocking you from entering the multiple 6-figure coaching arena and how you can JFDI and blast through it starting now. I'm going to talk to you about how to use the coach's secret weapon, which is speaking, together with my dead simple or seductively simple 5-step process to create your profitable, playful, and portable coaching business, and tell everyone who's been telling you to go get a job to actually go take a hike. You know, like I had to tell a very close family member, I was like, you got to just sit back and watch. If you can't support me, just sit back and watch. Okay. So, and finally, the third piece is how to finally make peace with money and receiving so that sales becomes fun and effortless, and your prospects feel blessed to talk to you and hire you at higher rates than you've ever charged before. How many of you right now would like to raise your rates and actually receive them at the higher level? I know you do. So I am going to first tell you a little bit of a story because we really learn a lot from stories. I want to make sure you guys, I'm going to look here. And okay, cool. Let's see, I can see. Okay, cool. Okay, you guys are just getting started. Okay, cool. I'm glad you can hear me. Okay. Can you? I assume you can hear me. Okay, so back in the day in 2005, 2006, I decided to burn the ships. I quit my job as a budding therapist and I decided to become a coach full-time. Probably like many of you, I was not a very good employee the whole time I was working for my employer, who happened to be my mom, because I was a therapist about to take over her clinic. The whole time I was working for her, I was working on my own business, and I was studying to be a health coach, and I was a yoga teacher, and I was study, and I wanted to quit this job, and I wanted to reach 6 figures, and I wanted to live in our dream house, and I wanted to spend a few months a year living in Hawaii. Has anyone ever been to Kauai, Hawaii? It's like magic. And like you, my dream was to have it all, right? I wanted to have everything. I wanted to be present and I wanted to raise my children. I didn't want to have to put them in a daycare. They were small at the time. Actually, back in 2005, they were not even born. They weren't born until the end of 2008, my first one. And I really had this dream of having quality time with my soulmate, John. And really, truly, my big value was freedom. Like many of you, how many of you is freedom really one of your top values? So on the outside, so I quit my job on 6/6/2006, and I remember doing my first talk, and I did a talk. 3 people showed up. 2 people became my clients at that event, and then John and I went skydiving, and I was like, I am one with the universe, and I felt so free. And I'm like, I am going to figure this out. I'm going to have my own business, and so on the outside, I was heavily investing and learning, just like you guys, learning and growing and improving my skills as a coach and a marketer. And I was learning everything I could to grow into my potential. I was studying. I had built out the branding. I created the website. I created programs. I had my signature talks, and I was speaking locally around my city. And then I would attract 2 to 5 clients with every talk that I delivered. And by then I had been coaching. So then fast forward a couple of years, and I was coasting in between 50 to 75K a year, which I really wasn't very intimate with my numbers. I didn't really care that much about money. I wasn't really a drive, but that's where I was. And I was starting my family, right? I had my first son by then. You can see now he's 10. I mean, it's been a while. And then now we have our little girl who is now 7. I mean, it just goes so fast. And at the time I was even awarded this Rising Star Award. And I remember this was an award, and I thought, okay, well, I really thought I was working so hard, like a lot of you guys. Like, how many of you feel like you're working and you're putting so much in and you're just not popping? So on the outside, it looked like I had it going on. I was getting this award, and I had some media attention, and I had all these great things. But on the inside, which is really the most important, right? Like, I would cave in at the money conversations, and I would allow people to trade me, and I gave discounts, and I even allowed a client to pay me over 2 years with post-dated checks. Like, I was so committed to them and to their success. I was like, just pay me over 2 years. And I would put other coaches and other people on pedestals, and I would compare myself. And then I beat myself up for not being further ahead than I thought I should be. Does any of that sound familiar? Like, it was such a struggle. And I felt a lot of shame because I had put on debt because In my whole life, I never had any debt, but then I took on this debt to invest in my business. And so that was really going against the money story I grew up with. And I felt fear, and I felt like this fear was tearing me down, and it was tormenting, and I had fear storms, and I was really afraid. I mean, how many of you guys feel a lot of fear in your business? And you know, it's hard, and I felt really invisible. You know, I was working in my home office. I felt isolated. I felt alone. I felt like I was hiding out behind my computer screen, and I was wondering why this wasn't working. You know, I was doing all this stuff and doing it, and I wasn't popping. And I was really seeking my parents' approval, and my own dad, who I've always, you know, wanted his approval, like a lot of us want, right? Which is really insane. Don't do that. But you know, he told me, he's like, Amanda, you're in a Ponzi scheme. You're being this coach, and you know what you have and what you're doing, there's no value to it. And I took it very personally, and it really, really hurt. And I had to create a huge boundary because that's painful. I'm like, here, my husband totally believes in me. My husband's like, you can do this. I believe in you. You got this. I see you. I know you. And that, and I just, when I had quit my social work job, I was going to take over my mom's business and be a therapist. My own grandmother, God bless her, she was so angry. And I did an email and a post about this, but my own grandmother was so upset. And I understand from their upbringing, right? I understand they're like, hey, security, job, do it, right? Like, I get it. But like this person we are, like, you can't not do this. Your soul won't let you not do it. And so I was courageous and fearless, but had a lot of fear. And so my grandma actually died, and she never, I don't know, I'm sure she's forgiven me. We'll see each other in heaven. It's going to be okay. But you know, there was a lot of things against me. Like, there wasn't a lot of support, and I felt isolated, and I felt like I didn't have a tribe of people. And here I am, different than all the people I grew up with, because I had people I went to a Catholic school for 13 years, and I had a guy that I went to high school with, and I say, I'm an entrepreneur. He's like, so you're a drug dealer? I'm like, not exactly, unless you call me Sling and Hope. I'm a hope dealer. I'm a dream dealer. So it's a really tough time, you know, just trying. And I know you all can relate to that, like just trying to be someone you're not, but your tribe is pulling you down, right? And so during this time, in between our first and our second child, I had a miscarriage, and I hit my personal ground zero. I remember telling my coach at the time, I was like, I am at a ground zero. You know, Facebook gives you those messages. I felt like I was so terrified, you guys. I had drained my savings. I was down to my last $200. I had to borrow money from my mom. I couldn't go to my dad because I had already told him to leave me alone, right? So my parents are divorced. So I had to ask my mom to you know, it was very humbling and embarrassing, but I literally was like I had the miscarriage. I had to go to the doctor. I mean, it was like what you have to do with the miscarriage. And I hope I'm not hurting anyone here or pulling up memories. I'm just sharing you this part of it. It was like there was death happening, and there was loss and grief and worry and fear. So I'm the Kale winner of my family. I married my soulmate, John. We met when we were 23, and we were ski bums. And I've really supported him in doing ski patrolling and doing his dream. And he supported me. And at one point I even said, John, I don't want to marry just a ski patroller. And he goes, well, I don't want to just marry a yoga teacher. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, we love each other. We love each other so much. We'll work it out. So I had all this pressure on myself because my husband wasn't making, and I was like, I can do this. Like, I saw all these other women and all these other coaches doing it, right? And I was like, if she can do it, so can I. So I was in this do or die situation. It was February, it was winter, and I was at this place where I knew I had to pop. And the good news, the only good news was that the only way out for me was up, right? The only way out was for me to go up. It's like so vulnerable. So it was really a do or die situation. And it was an absolute must. And not everyone needs to create this much drama and this kind of stuff. But when your whole family is against you, it feels like it's hard. It was really hard. I mean, my husband wasn't against me, but it was an isolating and lonely time. And so I created this drama, and failure at that point was not an option. I couldn't go back to being a social worker making $20 an hour. And so there's this coach that, I listened to her call. It was similar to this, and that I'm sharing with you guys now. And she had a story that was similar to me, and she shared her heart and her soul, and then her success and how she was helping. And I was like, she had this 3-day event coming up. And I was like, it just felt right for me to go to this event, even though it was in California, even though I didn't have the money. I put it on my American Express, and I ended up going to her 3-day event. And I really showed up fragile and afraid and determined to turn this around. And there was really no option. And I remember her saying, Amanda, it's time for you to make money. And Amanda, you're in your seminar story. And me just being there, supported by these other people, these other successful entrepreneurs, or trying to be successful, who were just like me and you, like had this heart and passion to do it. Me being with them made me feel like I can do this. And being held and supported by this coach, this woman who was courageous like me and strong, and she had been a therapist and she quit it. And she was doing her own work as well. I just felt like it was time for me, and I stepped into my power. Like, there's nothing like going to an event, being surrounded by people. Have you ever had that experience where you go somewhere, you find your people, and you're like, I like, all of a sudden you just have the wind beneath your wings. And so I really at that moment decided to step into my power. I made a clear decision. I decided to own my value and become the woman I said I wanted to be. And so after that, I then decided to raise my rates and really own it. And I focused like a ninja, and I slayed so many dragons, but I ended up making $54,000 in 6 weeks. And I sold $5,000 packages through speaking. But even though I was out of the wilderness financially, right? Finally had money. There's this, I've been talking about this in some of my lives about like the Israelites were let out of captivity. They were let out of, Exodus, and they were in the wilderness, but they were there for 40 years. And so like Moses got them out of captivity, but Moses didn't get Egypt out of their minds. And that was kind of how it was for me. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about in this next secret here is, Egypt was still in my mind. Slavery, that fear, that doubt, that insecurity, all that was in my mind. And so I had to move past that, even though I was at the 54,000. So, on the outside, once again, here I am being successful. I did end up that year. This was in 2011. I went on to go to 6 figures finally. I think I finished the year at 112. And I'm going to tell you another story about that in a minute, because it was not easy. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me speaking on stage in California and the kind of those great results. But you might be thinking, hey, that's great for you, Amanda. You probably, that's great, but how does this apply to me? And I hope that you guys don't have to have as much drama and struggle and challenges that I did, but traditionally businesses do struggle for years, right? With their belief, with their mindset, with their messaging, with their niche, with their marketing, with their pricing. They're attracting clients and knowing how to sell. And it is hard. There's no doubt, like if it was easy, wouldn't we all just be millionaires walking around? So trying to do it on your own without a mentor or a like-minded tribe and equipped with the right mindset and strategy, you will really struggle for years like I did without these things. So that's why I've simplified this into these 3 steps based on all these, 14 years of what I've gone through. And so that's what we're going to get into. In fact, here's a great story. This is Jillian Hunter. She's a photographer. And Jillian was one of my photographers at one of my events a couple years ago. And she was introduced to me by some other people in the community. And they're like, Jillian needs to be with you. And so finally, Jillian got to come and be my photographer. But she had never heard any of the stuff that I had talked about wealth consciousness and money mindset and the strategy and the structure and the value and owning your rate, raising your rates and owning your value. So she's like the cute photographer that's taking pictures. Everyone loves her. So awesome. And she was like, I got to work with you. And so she worked with me for that year. And she went from making $50,000 a year to making over $200,000 that first year because we worked on transforming her money mindset. And that was her from being at the event, feeling it, seeing it, being in that tribe. She found her tribe. In fact, I met up with her last week. She just went to travel, and she was in Seattle, and she stayed with one of my clients that she had met at one of my events. So like people create amazing friendships at these events. And so that was Jillian. So this class today, this is totally my gift to you. And I understand that at some point, if it resonates with you, something's going to happen between your heart and your mind and your soul. And you're going to be like, yes, Amanda is my mentor. Amanda is the one I want to learn from. Amanda is the one I want to coach with. And I just want you to honor that. I want you to be open for that. And just trust that. And at the end of this call today, I am going to share with you about how we can spend 3 unforgettable days together in October. I have some incredible bonuses. I have some fast action scholarships that you guys are going to love. So be sure to stay till the end and I'll walk you through. I'll answer all your questions. I'm going to give you all the details. I'm going to share everything with you. But so far, is this all resonating with you guys so far? Let's see. Okay, good. Okay. Woo! You guys are loving it. Okay, keep chatting with me. I like that. It keeps me going. All right, so let's talk about the number one secret, the number one thing that's been blocking you from entering this multiple 6-figure arena, and how you can JFGI and blast through it starting now. So are you liking my stories? This is kind of new. I'm going to share a couple of stories because I feel like people learn the most from the stories. So I shared with you guys how, so I shared with you how I went to the 6 figures in that first year. Well, at that season, and I'm going to tell you about how to do the speaking and the niche and the seminar story and all that in the second step. But this step is a little bit more about money. And so what I realized was in this season of my life, I decided I had been the health coach and I had the 5K packages. And then I decided to do a group program called Fit, Fab, and Fierce, release up to 50 pounds in 5 months or less. And I sold that out and I had 6 people at 5,000. It was incredible. I was like, this is working. Like it was finally working, and I was so pumped. It was totally working. And then it felt like it was time for me to develop a new niche because I had been working so much on my money mindset and I had been working so much on creating money and all the things that I had just gone through that I like to teach what I learned. So, and then I decided to shift gears and then become more of a money mindset and a business coach. So at the end of that year-long period, I then started to weave in another program, which was called 6 months to 6 figures. I raised the price to $10,000. Mind you, I had never sold anything for $10,000. And I decided to launch it. And it was December. And at that same time, I had enrolled with that coach. I told you guys about that February. Well, then by December, it was time for me to re-up again. And I needed $10,000. And I had obviously made 6 figures, but I still was having this cash flow problem. So I put the $10,000 on my American Express, put the $10,000 on there. But here's the thing. I had so much faith that this $10,000 had to be paid by December 31st. Because it was one of those things you can't have a balance. So it was like, I have got to do this. And I remember being like, all things are possible with God. I know I can do this. I believe in myself and I know I can do it. I've already come so far. I've already made 6 figures. I can totally do this. So, I put together a talk and I put together a series of videos and audios and trainings and, just nonstop everything, action, 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 action. And I'm putting a sales page and I'm doing all the launching and I'm doing everything you do. And I was pregnant and it was in the middle of the winter and I kept putting myself out there and no one would show up on my free calls. I would be on my phone on the call. Like back then it wasn't video and webinar. So I'd be on the phone doing my class and then my home phone would be like, whatever, opposite. It would be like my cell phone would be in my guest bedroom underneath the pillow because I had to have at least one person on the phone. So it'd be me and myself talking to myself. Okay, no one's showing up. Okay, and I'm like, I'm going for this 10,000. I need to make this $10,000 by the end of the month. My faith was really brought to like the brink, and I was like, this isn't going to work. And I tell my coach, I'm so scared. I'm pregnant. I'm playing the kid card. I finally got pregnant again for the second child, not miscarried. Like I was due in April, so I was 6 or 7, 8 months pregnant. 6 months pregnant. I'm really good with math. So I'm like, okay, I'm playing the kid card. I'm even like rallying my friends into it who had been seeing me on this rise this whole time. And they're like, yeah, Amanda, I agree. You're pregnant. You should probably take it easy. Definitely get out of that coaching program, that $10,000, get that $10,000 back if you can, because you can't do this. And so I go and I call the coach up and the coach is like, so pissed. She's like, I thought you were an A player and I don't want to work with you anyway. I only work with winners, and fine, if you're quitting, that's fine. And I was like, I wasn't expecting that reaction. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I asked her to coach me to Olympic star status. And here I am bailing on her and myself. And something happened.
Yep.
I woke up, I decided, and I said, hey, listen, this is war. And go ahead and mute yourself if you guys, if you're not muted. So I'm like, okay, this is war and I'm going to win. And I tried to back out of the contract, and she said no. And then I was like, okay, I'm doing this thing. And I fully committed, and I'm like, I'm in. And I just got to this place where I checked myself into the spa, and I sat there for hours, and I sat there and I journaled, and I got clear on my heart and on my vision and what I wanted. And I'm like, this is my dream. This is my desire. And I penned up my desires for a year of $333,000. And that's what I wanted. And then I ended up having and I just surrendered the whole thing. I was like, thy will be done. This is not about me. I'm just getting out of my own way. I know I'm good at this. I know that I can help people. And I just have to let go. If you guys ever been there where you hold on so tight that you finally have to let go. So I finally let go. And it's literally December 31st. And that bill is due that next day. And then I'm like, okay, this money is due. How am I going to do this? And then I have a sales call with a woman I had met at a networking event a few years earlier. She ended up getting on the phone with me and being like, hey, I've been watching you all these years. I want what you've got. I want you to show me how to do this. And then she hired me on the spot and sent me $10,000 in the 11th hour. So that was a huge aha and a huge awakening. And the whole point of this here is that it is war. And what I found during this step, and like I wish that I had learned this at such an earlier age, and I want you guys to get this, is that your wounded child, that little part of you, that like that 5-year-old, that part of you that felt rejected or abandoned or not loved or not accepted or not heard or not this or not that, that is who is showing up in your business. And once I got that was my little 5-year-old or my 10-year-old was showing up, was scared, insecure, full of doubt and fear and all this stuff. And that is the biggest aha I want you to have, is that your wounded child is in the way of your wealth consciousness. And in order, this first step here to go to past 6 figures is to merge your wounded child with your wealth consciousness and absolutely step into your power and knowing who you are. Because I had no problem. Like a lot of you guys, I have no problem taking action. I would go, I'd put myself out there. I would do things. But then this voice would pop in and be like, who do you think you are? And this isn't going to work. And you're not worth it. And all this stuff. And then I'm like, well, how is that? So I hope, is this resonating? So I want you to know that your wounded child is in the way of your wealth consciousness. End of story. That is it. So that was my 11th hour miracle there on that December 31st. And as a result, that is what happened. Is now I just am very clear that I have this WC1 in the way of the WC2. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more how to work with that if that is resonating with you. Just like with Ashley Welton, she was she's brand new to this business, and she started out working with me. I helped her go from 0 to 6 figures in 18 months. That's huge. And she said, my grasp and guidance on the inner work necessary to create an exceptional business was invaluable to the growth of her business. I mean, she worked hard and she did it, but that's huge. 0 to 6 figures in 18 months. Another awesome client was Courtney Long, who I now am continuing to work with. She came back to work with me again in her new niche, but she said that when we worked together, she was doing one-off sessions, and she was really like an empath and super sensitive and constantly doing these one-off in-person sessions that would leave her exhausted and burnt out. So when I worked with her, we helped put together everything into a launch, into a program, into a little speaking unit that she then brought in online. And then what she said is she made more money launching it than she made half of the year before. So that's huge. And now I'm working with her, and she's created a new niche around sacred sexuality. And I talked to her on Monday, and she's already sold in a very brand new program just launched as of the other day. And it wasn't even the 11th hour. She had just enrolled 5 clients at 2,000. So that was huge. So I've just shown you the number one thing that's been blocking you. Hello, it was you the whole time. If you do not nip this in the butt, then this is going to be constantly nagging you and pulling you down. So you have to deal with your wounded child. You have to merge it with your wealth consciousness. Okay, so is this helpful? Can you can you imagine, like, if you had that breakthrough, if you actually healed and transformed this piece, what would your life and your business be like if you changed it? So secret number 2. Okay, let me see what you're saying. I like it. I'm communication. Okay, no worries, Catherine. All right, thanks for letting me know. So, so let's talk about secret number 2 is all about the speaking, how to use the coach's secret weapon, which is speaking together with my simple step process to create your profitable, portable, and playful coaching business, and tell everyone who's been telling you to go get a job to go take a hike. How many of your people are telling you to get a job or stay in your job, or you're crazy to start your own business? Yeah, I can imagine you're not the only one. So speaking is queen. Okay, so I share with you at the start how I started out speaking, right? And how I always got clients, but I was still at that $50,000 to $100,000 mark. The way I blew past 6 figures and into multiple 6 figures was through selling higher end packages to warmer audiences and developing a specific problem that solved a plane is crashing problem, okay? That offered a plane is crashing solution. So here's another really cool story about how this happened. So I told you that during that whole time, you know, after I launched that 10K program, I got a couple of clients, but then it was kind of like, it kind of got quiet because it was a whole new niche for me. It was a whole new, I was just developing being a money mindset and business coach back in 2012. So I went back to those old fears of hiding out and comparing and wondering if it's going to work and is this going to pop? And I see all these other people doing it. Why isn't it working for me? Like, I'm doing the videos, I'm doing the sales calls, I'm doing live talks, I'm doing all this stuff, and it's not working. And so John and our baby was finally born in 2012 in April. Second home water birth. We go to Hawaii for the summer, and then my friend Christina Marassi is hosting her first event, and she's like, Amanda, you have to come here. You got to help me I want you to introduce me on stage, and I also want you to come and share the night with me speaking about wealth consciousness because you love it and you're so good at it. And I'm like, you know, Christina, I'm in Hawaii. I'm here. We're here at a wedding. I've got my 3-year-old and my husband and my daughter who's 6 weeks old, and I can't really come to your event. I would love to. Thank you so much. I wish I could, but I'm over here in Hawaii for the summer. And anyway, she was such a good friend. She pushed me over the edge. And I was just like, even my mom was like, no, you can't do it. My husband's like, no, you can't do it. And I was like, no, I can't do it. She's like, whoa, this is big. Because we all know, you guys, when there's massive resistance and other people in your life are like, no, 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 that means on the other side of it is your hugest breakthrough. So somehow I convinced my husband that, yes, I'm going to leave him and my 3-year-old in Hawaii, and I'm going to go with our baby, 6 weeks old, literally. Facebook just gave me a memory. I have her in the sling, you know, the baby, like 6-week-old baby in the chest carrier. And my baby and I, we take the red eye flight to LA. The red eye. I roll in, I take like a cat nap in the hotel room with the baby. And I roll onto stage. Like, I didn't have any of these clothes. I had to go to Payless, and, I would not shop for shoes at Payless, but I got myself some shoes at Payless next to the airport, roll in there, and I go and I introduce her. And then that night we have a speaking gig. And I guess I was just so influenced by the beautiful feminine oceans of Hawaii. And I was just so in my heart, and I was so real. And I really shared a story, and I shared my seminar story and the struggles I had been through. And I opened my heart, and I remember crying and being like, you guys could do it. And I was losing it. It could have been the hormones. I don't know what, but I was just myself, and I had my story, and I knew where I was going to help them and how I could help them. But I opened my heart, and through that heart, that connection, I connected with people. And the result was that I was able then I had that 10K package, right? And now here I am in front of, she had 100 people or so, 150 people. I was able to enroll 10K clients on the spot. People were coming up to me afterwards and being like, Amanda, can I get your, not my autograph, but they wanted my photo. And I was like, they want my photo. They're like, we've been following you online all these years, these months. And Phoebe was famous, just they wanted my phone number, and they were there, and they were like, you really helped me so much. I mean, how many of you guys would like that, where you're speaking on stage and you're connecting so deeply with people, and you're finally feeling seen and heard for the first time ever, where the whole time before you've been working behind the scenes and no one's like even hearing you, you're doing your calls and no one's listening. And all of a sudden you're heard and seen. So speaking is really queen. And so I flew back to Kauai knowing that I wanted to own my host. I wanted to host my own event. And this is for those of you guys who might be at that 50K to 100K level or beyond, like my client Carolyn Saldo. And she was like, you want to do a big event, right? You want to do it. So I hired a coach to teach me the exact strategy that I needed to rock out my own event, because there was no way I was going to try to figure that out on my own. And then fast forward 18 months, I was standing on my own stage with my tribe of 80 women. A couple cool dudes were there too, including my husband. There's our baby. See, there's John down there, and then our baby. And some other moms brought their babies too, right? And I was terrified going into this, like major fear storms, like hosting events where I'm like so scared because I'm like, is this going to work? And going on stage, and it's terrifying. There's no doubt about it. And that's where I had the tools of knowing my wounded child was again in the way of my wealth consciousness and how to manage that. But, I had my niche nailed down. I had my seminar story, and I had my system and the problem that I solved. And I got on there and I helped these clients, and you can see everyone's having a good time. And there's a picture of us that summer with my infant and our 3-year-old. So the result that being on stage automatically positions you as that go-to expert. Your credibility goes through the roof. You need to show up as that expert and be real and raw and vulnerable, sharing your vulnerable story, and at the same time sharing your expertise. And you have to know the strategy behind a winning talk. You got to know your seminar story. So a little bit about the seminar story, which is really important, and about being a generalist, is a lot of people, they want to just be like my client, Seema. She was a health coach, and her business was called Harmonious Way to Health. And when we worked together, I helped mine her path for the gold. And I was just like, Harmonious Way to Health, if it's like, 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm not going to be Googling, how can I have harmonious way to health? And so I was like, we need to create a plane is crashing problem for you that you solve, that's going to help set you apart. And you all need that. You need that little nugget that just sets you apart. So I helped mine her path for the gold, and I saw that she had actually suffered from teenage and adult acne. And she healed herself holistically, but she really suffered from the pain and the embarrassment and she was just, that's why she got into health, was so that she could heal her acne. So now I just said, hey, let's call you the acne breakthrough coach. So, and she helps them break through their acne, the adult acne, and face the world confidently. How much better is that than the harmonious way to health? So, and then, so you need to share yourself, and you have to have your story that creates that connection. And so your ideal client is similar to where you are, and you're sharing that part of your story that's vulnerable and creates that connection and lets them know that you understand that you're not just some, guru on the mountain on the pedestal, but you really need to get into their pain and into the problem and show them that you've been there, gotten the t-shirt. Now you're on the other side and you can help them. So that's important. And then you got to create a signature talk. And then that signature talk is a preview of your premium program. And so that's even if you go and host your own event one day, you host a 3-day event, that event, those 3 days are a pillar of the program, of the process you're going to walk people through. And so this is it's such a great example, is Carolyn Saldo hired me in 2016, and she was at 6 figures, and she felt like she was a launch queen, and she was launching and working all the time. And she saw me and she's like, Amanda, you just look like she invited me to do a telesummit with her. And she's like, it just seems like you have a lot of good balance, and you're healthy, and your clients really like you, and they're getting results, and I want to come learn from you. So she came to my event. I taught her how to do her first event, and she actually she had 140 people at her first event, and she ended up bringing in over 400,000. Now she makes $4 million a year. Hello. So, and I love what she says. Amanda cares more for her clients than any coach I know. She's real and powerful, and exactly what you need to create a free and abundant life. Isn't that nice? So that's a great story. And then Michelle Barr is someone that I helped. Also, she came and spoke at my stage, And I helped her design her signature talk to be most beneficial. And I listened to her story and I helped her reframe her story in a bigger way that brought new insight. So she was able to bring that niche even further down and have more success with it that way. So I just shared with you guys the #1 secret weapon to building a profitable, portable, and playful business. There's a lot in there, but it is about speaking, but solving that planes crashing problem and having your seminar story and also having your signature talk. So can you imagine what would happen if you actually put all this into action? So the third step here, the first step to blow past 6 figures is understand the wealth consciousness. The second step is to use speaking in your voice and try to get on bigger stages so that you can have that influence and let people fall in love with you, because there's nothing more than being in person and live with people, in my opinion. So the third step here is about making peace, how to finally make peace with money and receiving so that sales become fun and effortless and your prospects feel blessed to talk to you and hire you at higher rates than you've ever charged before. Who would like that? How many of you would like that? So here's what we need to do. You need to transform to becoming a sales angel. So how many of you guys would say right now that you're really good at sales and you like sales and you rock it out and you feel really confident in sales? So if you don't master sales in your business, you will never be able to make the impact you're here to make. Never. And your clients won't receive the transformation that only you can deliver. And you'll suffer for years and years with income and confidence. You'll ride that feast or famine roller coaster. And the sooner you learn to sell and enroll from the soul in your business, the faster you'll be able to get to work transforming people's lives. So if you avoid this, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. So it's crucial to the livelihood of your business that you learn to sell consistently, confidently, and courageously. So here's the thing is, here's another great story is that I really avoided sales on the phone because I felt like I didn't know how to do it. I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like if I didn't see the person, maybe you guys can relate, but if I didn't see the person or know the person, I felt like I couldn't really help them. And so I had to invest in yet another coach. And so I flew to California and I spent another, every year, it's about, this coach was $27,000. The one that taught me how to do speaking was $30,000. And so I invested in going to this coach. And at one point during the day, we were role-playing sales calls. If any of you guys done role-play sales calls. So I get paired up with this woman, and this woman is absolutely beautiful, and she's just got it going on. Like, she's just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I put her on a pedestal. I thought she was so pretty and so perfect and so this and that, totally different than me. And so we get paired up. And so we're paired up, and she's like, and this is all like in a group setting. And I think it was even on live stream. So it was like in real time. It was like really a big deal. So we're role playing and she's like, yeah, Amanda, I'm really inspired. You have this beautiful family and you have a husband and you have this successful business. And I was like, oh yeah, thanks. And that's cool. And then the coach stops me and she's like, wait. She's like, did you hear what she just said? And I was like, yeah, she said this. I'm like, that's not a big deal. It's, who doesn't have a great family and a husband and, this is great success. Like, duh, like I wasn't giving myself credit. So the coach stops me, makes this big deal about it. And she's like, here is your sales problem, Amanda. She's like, you are not receiving this and you don't think you're worth it. And I know, gosh, how many of us have done so much work around worthiness? But like, I wasn't feeling it in my gut, like in my belly. I wasn't feeling the worthiness. I wasn't feeling like I could receive. Can you guys relate to that? Like, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like I could receive. I felt like I had to do it all for everyone. I was overly responsible. I felt like I had to rush to make the deal. Like, there was so much complicated BS that goes on with sales. So what I realized is that you have to move deeper into love and vulnerability with sales. And what happened as a result of that, a few weeks later, I had an event and I stood on stage and I confidently had put together my very first ever $50,000 package. And I offered it with full on confidence, like, this is how much it is. This is what we're going to do. And I felt so confident and so clear. And someone actually signed up. And I was like, oh my gosh, someone signed up, like, this stuff works. So, and in true transparency, that woman ended up not finishing the whole $50,000 package. That's a whole other story, but I will let you know I had the confidence to say it. And I have enrolled people at 25, 27,000, 17,000. And so, but that whole thing is like, become a sales angel, because you are an answered prayer for your ideal client. There are people who, like, I have this great client, Charlene, she's in my program right now. And she told us the other day, she's a brand new coach, hasn't ever had a client, never, like, doesn't have a website, doesn't have a business name, doesn't have a talk, doesn't have a seminar story, like in the start of her business. She had an intuitive hit to call up an old friend from 25 years ago, calls up this woman, talks to her, coaches her, and then tells her all these JFDI things to do. Anyway, her husband says, I need to be coached by Charlene. Call Charlene up. Charlene's like, yeah, I'll do it. It's $5,100. Bam. This woman was an answered prayer for her friend for 25 years ago. I have chills. So you have no idea, like, it's not about you. It's about the client you're here to serve. So I would not, like, this is something that you must master and have a mind shift about, that you have to become a sales, you have to become a sales angel. So this is Tori Washington. She's so beautiful. So she hired me for Speak Your Way to Success last year. And she says, anyway, we nailed her niche in like 20 minutes and we put together the signature talk. And she's like a spiritual coach teacher. She was a yoga teacher living in San Diego, not making a lot of money, but really had a lot of potential, as you can see, right? And so she had a goal of getting 10 clients into her program. She ended up enrolling 15 clients, followed my sales script. And this is something that we're going to be doing at Rise Up. The whole day is going to be on sales. She followed my sales script. She made $27,000 in the very first month of coaching with me. Hello, what is that worth? And then like goes on to repeat that over and over and over again. So sales is a skill you have to master. Another client, Robin, she just enrolled. She's a dating coach, and she just enrolled with me for Speak Your Way to Success. She had just done a workshop. She had never had a client. She's been in business a year and a half, never had a client that paid her. She followed my sales script to the T and enrolled her very first client at $2,500. Huge. Okay. She's like, this is the most success I've had in a year and a half. Okay. So she didn't have me as a coach before that. So you've got to master sales. How many of you guys would like to be like these ladies? Jamie Brandenburg, she was like this shaman, just such a lover. She had been a yoga teacher and a massage therapist. She's actually a really good friend of mine for years. I love this woman. She put together a women's group where once a month this women's circle would come, and she decided to create a membership, but she really sucked at sales. And I was like, Jamie, you need help. We did a VIP day. She'd coached with me and Enter Your Money Drama and Healthy Wealthy Biz School a couple of years prior to that. We did a VIP day. Anyway, Jamie ended up like getting into her power, owning the value of her program. She raised her rates as a shamanic practitioner to $12,000. She got a $60,000 client recently. And she said she made in 1 month what she used to make in 2 years. Hello, when you heal your wounded child and your wealth consciousness, and you use speaking and you use your gifts and you own your value, you will rise up and you will go past that 6-figure mark. So I just showed you guys how to become a sales angel. So, let me ask you, if you actually followed these secrets, you followed secret number 1, you transform your wealth consciousness to really truly believing and knowing that you can make it as a coach and blow past 6 figures. And if you really knew that, that it is possible, and that speaking is the way, that when you are at an event, you wish someone would just pass you the mic because you're born for the stage. You have so much to say, but you just don't have the clarity in how to do it all. But just imagine I just showed you, like if you actually did this, and then you use, secret number 3, and you figured out how to move from sales to service and enroll from your heart and soul, do you think you could be successful? Can I get some amens in the comments? Do you guys think you'd be successful if you actually did this? If you healed that wounded child and that wealth consciousness, if you really worked on the strategy and the how-to and the structure, and if you really learned how to sell, would you be successful? Yeah, let's see. Just one of you guys would be successful. Amen. Trevon would be. Anyone else? Anyone else say that you'd be successful? If you actually did what I'm saying here, do you think you'd be successful? So it's not, rocket science, but it needs to happen. So, and how many of you guys might be feeling a little overwhelmed? Like you might still be stuck in some spot. Yeah, Erin, absolutely. Mary, yes. Andrea, yes, ma'am. Okay, so some of you guys might even be like overwhelmed. I feel like I was a fire hose and I've told you all these stories and shared a lot with you. So would it be okay with you guys if I spent 10 minutes sharing with you how I can actually help you do this? And so I'm going to take 10 minutes and let's do it. So what I've got together for you guys, to me, as you can see, my most beneficial, transformational experiences have been when I've gotten on an airplane. I've gotten out of my comfort zone. Sometimes I didn't have the money, sometimes I did. Sometimes I showed up fragile and afraid, and sometimes I showed up like thinking I had it going on, and then more stuff brought up. But working with a mentor, being in person, being in a tribe, being with other sisters and brothers who got me and who were a new level for me, it was the best thing. And so to me, coming together in community is the one and only best way to actually get this transformation, because it comes to life. You know, it's fun for us to be at our computers and have the convenience of all this great technology, but something huge happens, and I see it time and time again. And so this will be my 8th event. It's going to be my best event. I'm moving this into Salt Lake City. I used to do it up in the mountains in Park City, Utah, but I made it easier. I listened to the folks who were like coming from all over. And so it's happening October 24th and 25th and 26th in gorgeous snow-peaked mountain, Salt Lake City, Utah. There will not be snow, hopefully not then. But anyway, downtown Salt Lake City. It's an in-person event of the year for coaches and experts who want to scale, streamline, and skyrocket their status through speaking. Let me tell you about it. So over these 3 unforgettable days, day number 1, we're going to spend an entire day working on developing. I'm taking you deep into transforming your money story, designing and creating a bulletproof money mindset that fuels your success. And it's huge. We really break through a lot, remove the blocks, create new beliefs, new money patterns, and a new way of carrying yourself. We blow the whistle on your old self and help you step into this new you as a 6-figure, 7-figure speaker. And then we have a really fun evening session, which people pretty much, they say the evening session, believe me, I'm not going to disclose all the evening things, but I get you out of your comfort zone and we have a really good time. So day 2 is all about speaking your way to success with the Moxley method. I'm going to walk you through the how-to, and I don't hold anything back. I share with you the strategy, the details, the mechanics, the how-to, all those little pieces. And then day 3 is all about becoming a sales angel. We're going to spend the entire day working on sales, on overcoming objections in yourself, owning the value. And then you're going to walk away out of those 3 days with a plan for the next 3 months, 9 months, 12 months, so that you have a plan and a way to get booked to speak, to you speaking, to attract your ideal clients, to nail your niche, and also to get your next 12 clients in those next 90 days. So I want you to have wins. A lot of you will probably meet clients there. I had a client, she paid for her whole trip. More than that, she got a client at the event for $5,000 while it was awesome. So she got a client right then and there. So Nancy DaCosta, she came from Australia. So this woman came from Australia to rise up. And she said, Amanda provided us with a detailed step-by-step guide on how to create an amazing talk using vulnerability, authentic sharing, and adding massive value. So she came from Australia. Nancy loved it here so much that she ended up moving her and her husband from Australia to Utah. My very first event team came from New York City. They moved here. They came here. They loved it. They fell in love with Salt Lake City. They moved here. Like, this is people move here. I don't want everyone to move here because, I love it myself, but I'll share with you guys because you're my peeps. Okay. So I want to make sure that this is for you. I want you to make sure that this is for coaches, consultants, and authors, A players, rock stars who are just starting out. You could be, and I was thinking about it today. I remember listening to one of these talks when I first started my business, and I remember kind of being intimidated by the mentor and be like, no, I can't go. I'm just a newbie. I can't go to her event. I don't know enough. And who will those people be there? And they're all going to be so much better than me. And I just don't know this. And I remember beating myself up for not going. So what I did instead was I bought some other program online that was in my comfort zone and that kept me playing small and pretty much stuck, and I didn't get as far along. Then the next year I had the guts to go to her event, and I went for 2 years, and that's when I was able to then go to that 6-figure mark. So if your gut is telling you, hey, Amanda's the one, I want you to act on it. Okay. This is also for people who want to scale. You might be at 6 figures. And you also are resonating with me in this message. And like I had 6-figure business, but I still continue to go to events because I'm always learning. So this is for you. You know, I'm going to teach you the sales and the strategy so that you can actually, if you want to, create your own event, your own experience, your own retreat. Okay. So some of you guys might be thinking, well, I've got kids. Well, you know, you can bring your children with you. It's an amazing city to come visit with kids. You could also give yourself a break and just come by yourself and you know, and if you live far away, that's really no excuse, because I know you like adventure like I do, and fun and freedom. And this is the international airport. So it's Salt Lake City International Airport. The flights are not a lot of money. We have a nonstop to Paris. We have a nonstop to Japan. So Australia, I know a lot of you guys are US bound. So we have nonstops. Delta is a hub here. So that's easy. And there's plenty of time now to get your ticket and save a lot of money. Okay. So I want to tell you what's involved in all this. So you get the 3-day Rise Up event. But I was like, okay, how can I make this better? Is this all feeling and sounding good to you guys? So what I decided, this is in addition, so the event is October 24th, 25th, and 26th. But in the meantime, I want to give you this 5-week course, and it's called NGO Money Drama. This is a program that is developed out of my journey, my drama, my comeback, my triumph to multiple 6 figures. These are the exact steps I took, and these are 5. This is awesome. So you're going to get 5 modules, 5 audio trainings, and then you'll be in the Facebook group to ask me questions as well. So you're going to get my End Your Money Drama course. The value of that is $997. I'm going to just give it to you as a gift to help prepare you so that when you come in strong, and you come into the event on day 1 like, yes, I'm ready. Money drama gone, and now I'm ready to rock and expand my income. Okay. And I you know, basically, you know, I created this back in 2012, and I literally have spent over $333,000 on my, go ahead and mute yourselves if you can, you guys. But I literally, over these last 10-ish years, I have spent over $300,000 on personal development, learning this, slaying these dragons, investing in coaching and mentorship. And so I really focus on how you can release the fear and the beliefs and the emotions and the drama that are blocking you from receiving more money. And I put it together in this course, and you're going to get it for free. So you're going to get the 3-day live event retreat, the fun evening sessions, and then in the mornings, I have this Moxley motivational morning ritual for success. We're going to walk you through this so that you can implement that as a habit, and then take that system home with you and wake up early every single morning and win the day with using this system. So you're going to have morning sessions, evening sessions. We're also going to have a pre-call intention setting call before the event, so you know exactly what to expect, how to show up, how to play, how to get the most out of it. You're also going to get a downloadable Rise Up guidebook, which will be your manual, your little Bible, moving you through, walking you through the systems, the cheat sheets, the strategy, the how-tos, everything that we're putting into place. There's also going to be deep connections and networking. Some of these people will be your friends for life. And they also could be your business partners, or you could find someone that you're looking for to help you in your business. And you're also going to get a buy one, get one free. Because I told you how important community is. So I want you to make sure that you're there. If you can bring your partner, you can bring a biz bestie, you can bring your virtual assistant, you can bring your event person, like you can bring someone with you. And so you're going to get 2 tickets for the price of 1. So as you can see, this total value is $4,768. So if all that Rise Up Live got you was to transform your wealth consciousness, even before, and boost your confidence and get you feeling and owning the value of the transformation you provide, so you could actually raise your rates like my client Charlene just did, all these clients that I've shared with you, that what they've done, and make more money, would the time and the money and the investment be worth it to you? If all it did was help you nail down that niche and tap deeper into the problem that you solve, and show you how to rock out your signature talk from A to Z, so you can repeat that talk over and over and over again, and also help you fall in love with sales and get over those icky sales feelings and get you amped up to enroll more clients, then would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? I want to hear, like, yes or no. Because I've literally shown you step by step by step, and this could be just another webinar that you do. It could be another, a free call. It could be more information. You guys have enough information. Now it's time for transformation. We don't need any more shelf help. We need action. We need JFTI. So I want you to take action from your future self, from that gut feeling that inner calling that's calling you forward to actually rise up and blow past 6 figures fast, that is who needs to make the decision. Otherwise, you're going to keep staying stuck and confused and searching and seeking and getting so overwhelmed and confused by listening to everyone's webinars. And then, but everyone's trying to get you to believe or understand theirs. So if you're resonating, I want you to lock into me and I can support you into JFDI this. So just imagine all the good stuff that could happen for you if you actually step into this. If you give yourself these 3 days, you set apart 3 days, October 24th and 25th and 26th. Just like this client, Jessica, she came to my event. She had just quit her job right before she came. She said, Amanda helped me blow past my fear storm of leaving security and showed me how to hustle. She wrote her book in 86 days, quadrupled her mailing list, wrote 2 new programs, and had my highest sales day ever. Hello. That one day was more money than the prior 4 months added together. Kathy, also, I helped her. So you have 2 choices, you guys. I had 2 choices. I could go as cheap as possible at this event, but then I don't want to have, this isn't like me and a million speakers. Literally, it's me and you on stage. There'll be a couple speakers who will add value. No one's selling anything. I will invite you to go to another step with me at the event, but that's not the whole event. But here I am, basically I want to be able to see you, feel you, connect with you, give you a hug, make this personal. So I decided to go with the second option. I don't want to make it as cheap as possible, but I want to make it so you're invested. But I do know you have to get a plane ticket. We also have a room rate for you. We've negotiated a room rate. You could share the room for 168, I think, 168, 163, something like that. So it's super affordable for those couple nights. Really good deal in the heart of Salt Lake City, which is huge. So if you had a successful business where you knew the problem you solved and you had a signature system, you were speaking, what would it be worth to you? How much would you pay to transform your wealth consciousness, to literally get this, to be in this transformational, 3 days with me, to really transform it? And you can probably see how people actually pay me. Like these guys have all paid me over $8,000 to $10,000 to coach them, but you can see the value. There's no doubt. But because, you can see the value of being the 4768. It's clearly there for those 3 full days. But because you're part of this early bird launch, because you're here and we've got we've got several months until Rise Up, I want to give you a special offer. And so you're going to love it. So the special offer is you can join me at Rise Up for these 3 days for just $197. Just $197. You could bring a friend, share that, split the cost for $197. And so you go to amandamoxley.com/live event. And now you're at this place where you have 2 choices. You can let this be another webinar you just consumed and you just got information and got riled up for, or you could, and do nothing basically, just feed it into the tank of information. I'm with you. I love growth. I'm all about learning. Or you can choose to take a leap of faith in JFDI to get your buns to Salt Lake City, Utah, and join me at Rise Up for $197. All you do is go to amandamoxley.com live event, and I will let you know that I have a guarantee. So I want you guys to absolutely love it, and I want you to be fully committed and present, and I want there to only be this is a select group. This is not just everyone, right? I want you to make sure this is right for you. And so I have a guarantee that if after the very first day you're like, you know what? This isn't really for me. This isn't really what I want. You can come to me the morning of October 25th at 8 a.m. and say, you know what? I want a refund, and I'll happily refund you right then and there. So you've got my guarantee. You have nothing to lose. So, the question is, is it worth trusting your gut right now and taking this leap of faith and joining me for these 3 days? Or, even if it only does half of what I share with you today, it will pay for itself with 1 client. You'll probably, $197 is pretty good deal. So I went to JFDI now. You go to amandamoxley.com/live event. I've got a few more bonuses for you guys too. Okay. So here's everything you're going to get. Here's the total value, the whole process. And I have an extra special bonus. Okay. So those of you guys who are like, I'm doing it. Amanda's my girl. I got to go hang out with her for 3 days. I'm listening to my gut. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to a private closed door 2-hour VIP mastermind with me and the group before. So the event starts on Thursday. So on Wednesday, you'll come in a little bit early and we're going to have our own JFDI mastermind. And that's just me and a small group, and I'm lasering in on you guys. We will have at least 100 people at the event. So if you're like, you know what, I'd like to get some of Amanda, I went to JFDI on this. Just go to amandamoxley.com/live event. And then you will be able to join me and get that mastermind opportunity. So just to, I want to see if there's any questions. I'm going to just recap this. I am so good. It's 12:05. So you're going to get the 3-day live event where I'm walking through day 1 is wealth consciousness, money mindset, transforming it, unlocking those money channels, really helping you. You're going to end your money drama beforehand so you can really birth that new money story before you roll up into Salt Lake City. You're going to get the fun evening sessions, the morning Moxley motivation rituals, which are going to change your life when you learn how not to hit snooze on your life and be fired up every morning. I'm going to show you my system. I'll walk you through. Pre-call intention setting and planning session, downloadable Rise Up guidebook, networking, deep connections. We're talking friendships for life. Like Jillian was just in Seattle with Shakti, who she met at my event. You also get to bring a friend. So really, this is only $97. And you get the fast action scholarship, which is, or the fast action deal is you can bring, you can get that closed door mastermind. Now that is only available for the people who are on this event or on this call today. So what questions do you guys have for me about any of this? It is. Oh, hello, Judy. Okay. You got to work on your seminar story. We'll be helping you with that. So it is a really good deal. And I could charge a lot more, and I will be charging. The price will be going up to $697, but because it's only May right now, and you guys, I want you to get your early birds. I want you to get your buns there. So I want to just make it easy. I want you to get your flights and get your rooms reserved, and it's just $197. So what questions do you guys have for me? You might be thinking, well, can I just get this from the convenience of my own home, right? I know it's not convenient to get on an airplane. I know, I get it, but at the same time, it's huge when you are in a new environment, because environment is an essential part of success. When you are surrounded by the laundry and the dishes and the animals and the kids and the family and the husband and the whole, your thoughts and your thinking patterns and everything, you stay the same. So you have to break out of that and get into a new community. I love traveling. I love being with people that are also like-minded. So yeah, you have to travel. Attending in person creates a whole new energy. And I have been to Carolyn Soto's event too. Exactly. That's where I got to meet you. So, you know, maybe you'll say, well, will it be worth 3 days of my time? Well, at this point, 3 days of your time is really not a lot when you consider the fact that what you're doing right now probably isn't working for you, but like one little nugget you get in there. What happens when we go to these events? It rises you up to a whole level of possibility and belief. And you walk out of there so strong. And I make you guys do JFDI things. Like I'll make you do, it's optional, but I'll like have you, like one year I said, okay, they were all afraid to do live stream. So I said, I want you guys to pull out your phone right now. We're going to JFDI and you're going to do your first live stream. So they were doing live stream about their story, or they were talking about giving tips. They had never done a live stream and they were like, oh my gosh, I did it. And then they started a 30-day live stream challenge after that. That's when Facebook Live first came out. Some of you guys, you don't want to leave your kids. And so, you know, I know for me, that was a hard thing. And so I would bring my kids with me. I would bring my kids. I nursed each kid for like 2+ years. My daughter for 3 years. I'm like, there's nothing left, but I still needed to keep her with me because I love her so much. So, you know, bring your kids, because when your kids are seeing you rise up and become this person, because let's face it, you've probably been working on this a long time. And if you've been working on this a long time and you're not where you want to be, what is that saying to your kids? So really, success comes down to making a decision and drawing the line in the sand that you're no longer available for this struggle and this strife and this, you know, the challenge. So honestly, you guys could bring your kids. I've had people bring their kids to the event. My kids will be there, not the whole time, but my kids, you know, it's so good for them to see you and support you. Some of you might be thinking, well, what if I don't fit in? What if these aren't my people? And I remember thinking that too, just thinking that goes down to putting people on pedestals. If you're resonating with me, you're going to resonate with the people who are going to be coming. And if you are just yourself and you take 100% responsibility for yourself, and you know, I think it's about being seen and showing up and being seen, and not focusing on you, but how can you add value? How can you bring more value to the people you're here? And how can you be more of a resource? And how can you bring more of a service? It's not, stop making it about you, and really like be open. Some of you guys might think, well, maybe this won't work for me. Well, I've never seen this not work for anyone, because it possibly can't not work, because if you actually do it and you engage with it, it will work. It's like running. So it has to come from you. But I've never in my entire life ever been to an event and not gotten something out of it, or had a huge aha or a huge breakthrough. Some of you might be thinking, I can't take the time. Some of you might be thinking, you know, but it's just like, what I would recommend is that you take the time and you focus on what is not taking the time costing you. For you to not give yourself to set apart 3 days, what is it costing you not to give yourself time to do this? Because what you're doing probably isn't working. Otherwise, you would have different results now. And some of you guys, you might have partners that really don't support you. So that's a tough thing. I would say you could bring your partner. You could, what do they say? Ask for forgiveness later. What do they say? It's easier to ask for forgiveness. I'm not recommending being a marriage breaker, but if your partner doesn't believe in you, then I would just say, well, how are you not, we show them who we are through our actions. So maybe you're not showing up in a way that, or maybe the actions you've taken in the past are showing that, yeah, he probably shouldn't be supporting you because you're not following through and doing what you need to be doing. Or maybe there is really something going on in your marriage that has nothing to do and you with this, and that you need this boost of encouragement to actually be surrounded by other people who are doing it and who are rocking out their businesses and who are speaking and sharing their stories. And that gives you belief. You know, like when my clients roll up and we do wins every week, when they share their wins, that gives everyone else permission and feeds into the belief of that they can do it. Because we've already established that most of our people in our current reality, they probably aren't like, yes, you can do it, because they're thinking, who do you think you are? And your success triggers them. Okay. Now, some of you guys just might be just too scared. So I have a slaying the dragon technique. So let's say how many of you want to come to Rise Up? How many of you would like to come to Salt Lake City? It's so beautiful here. So what I would do is slay the dragon, and you're going to get out a piece of paper and you're going to say, I feel afraid because, if you're like, I feel scared, or whatever the emotion you have is, I feel afraid because, and then write down all the reasons why you feel afraid. Because a lot of times, you know, we weren't created with the spirit of fear. So fear comes up because whenever we're trying to get out of our comfort zone and whenever we're trying to become a new person, then fear is going to come up and try to pull you back down. So just confront the fear, look at the fear. What are you really afraid of? And fear and excitement are really the same emotion. When you apply your breath to that fear actually becomes excitement. So get excited. Get excited. This is actually really exciting what you're going to do. So I'm wondering, as I keep kind of going in, I've just pulled up like some things. Does anyone here actually have any questions that I can answer for you? All right. I think I'll just be complete. I'm going to just share that. If there's any questions, you guys, this is your chance. I'll just run through this one more time and share with you where you can get your ticket. Go to amandamoxley.com/live event. And this is only available the $197, and not to mention the closed door VIP mastermind just with me the day before is massive. Like, you guys are crazy not to do that. Like, if I have this chance to work with someone like me who's slayed so many dragons and has the success and the breakthroughs and the system that I have, I would be jumping on this. I mean, just to not, I'll shoot my own horn, but I would totally be jumping on this. You're going to get 3 full days. You're going to get fun evening sessions. You're going to get new habits, new rituals for success for the morning, pre-call intention setting for downloadable Rise Up guidebook that's going to walk you through step by step by step of these 3 days. This is going to be your home container that's going to support you for the 3 days. You're going to get amazing connections. I mean, this is priceless. You're going to get a bring a friend. Hello, so you can share it with the biz bestie. I wanted to make this as easy as possible. You're also going to get my NGL Money Drama 5-week program, which is just so beautiful. Look at it. Look at how good this is. Where is it? I love it. You're going to get this also. Okay, this is huge. So that you can get started on this End Your Money Drama today. And so what happens is as soon as you register, you will get, woohoo, you're in. And then we'll send you the membership site and you'll log into this and you can start listening to End Your Money Drama week number 1 today. You're going to have all 5 weeks accessible to you. And then you're going to get the, the information of how to book your ticket. You're going to be entered into the Facebook group. You're going to meet new friends and we're going to rock this out together. Okay. So that's what happens on the other side. Let's see. I think someone has a question. Where did it go? Okay. I'm checking flights right now. Woohoo! All right, Judy. Exactly. Check flights right now. Okay, cool. So go ahead, JFDI. Now this ticket, let's say you buy your ticket, it is transferable. So let's say something comes up. Hopefully it won't. Distraction, right, might come up, but what you can do is you can also transfer it if you need to. Not like I want you to, but definitely book your flights, get your buns to Salt Lake City. Yeah, awesome. Where do you live, Judy? I think, do you live in Texas too? All right, you guys. Well, I am so grateful we had this time to share together. It's been such an honor to share. I want you to JFDI. I want you to, oh, Florida. Okay. I want you to write down, what are your biggest takeaways? I want to hear from you guys. What are your biggest takeaways from these 3 steps? It's all about the wounded child's in the way of the wealth consciousness, speaking as queen, and number 3, become a sales angel. Sales to service. What have been your biggest ahas? I hope it has been beneficial for you. I hope that it's been inspirational and supporting you. And you do have 2 choices. You can keep going, doing what you're doing, or you can JFDI and join me in Salt Lake City in a few months, in October. All right, email me, amanda@amandamoxley.com if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Have a beautiful day, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.